Hello dear students. In yesterday's lecture in surface chemistry we have started the studies of the classification of colloids. Colloids is a heterogeneous mixture particularly. Okay. Now in classification of colloids we studied that we have to study three kinds of classification. First, on the basis of the physical state. On that basis we have classified eight. Okay, different salts particularly emulsion, gel, aerosol, solid sol. Second, on interaction forces between dispersed phase and dispersed medium particle. On basis we divided them into two, lyophilic and lyophobic. Now our today's topic is its third classification, that is on basis of size of particle. Okay, so on basis of size of particle they are classified into three, which first is termed as multimolecular colloids. So what is multimolecular colloids? For example, suppose this is a beaker in which there is a dispersed medium. Okay, we are putting dispersed phase particle. These are dispersed phase particles. But these dispersed phase particle size is not in the range of colloids. In the range of colloids, you must have the particle size between 1 nanometer to 1000 nanometer in diameter. Okay, this 1 nanometer and 1000 nanometer is given diameter of the particle. Okay, so now we know that these particular dispersed phase particles are not in the size of this one. But what will happen? That these particles will start aggregating, mean to start attaching, and their size will become in the range of the colloids particularly. Such type of colloids are termed as multimolecular colloids because a large number of molecules combine or aggregate, you can say, okay, to form the particle of size which is existing in the colloidal range. Such colloids are termed as multimolecular colloids. For example, if you prepare gold salt, okay, gold particle are suspended. But gold particle, if you talk about the size of a single gold particle, this is not in this range. But gold particle aggregates together to become in this range and it become a gold salt, or you can say gold colloid, in which gold is acting as a dispersed phase. Another example you can take of sulfur, in which a large number of S8 molecules aggregate. Suppose this is a molecule of S8, a large number of, okay, 100 of molecules get aggregated, attached to each other, and the particle size become in the range of the colloidal range. Such colloids are termed as multimolecular. Sorry. Now second one is B. It's termed as a macromolecular colloids. Macromolecular colloids. Okay. Macromolecular colloids mean to say that molecule size is already great, bigger. So the size of particle, size of dispersed phase particle, already in the colloidal range. I am again defining. Colloidal range is between 1 nanometer to 1000 nanometer in diameter. And if you need to define colloid particularly, at there you have to state the size. Okay, without explaining this size, colloidal definition will be not constituted complete. Okay, it will be not considered complete definition. So you have to include the size, mean to say this information you have to cram particularly in case of the colloid. So in case of macromolecular colloids, molecules are already in colloidal range. Okay, so such colloids are naturally existing colloids are actually macromolecular, natural. What are natural? Starch, protein, these are heavy molecules. Okay, starch, proteins, gels, these are particularly what? Macromolecular. and existing in nature, macromolecular colloid. Okay, mean to say particle size is already in the range of the colloidal range. Now the third one, this is known as associated colloid, or it is also termed as micelle. Okay, both names are accurate, whichever you use, associated colloids or micelle. In this also colloidal size particle size, individual, or you can say individual particle size is not in colloidal range. They also aggregate together and become in range of 1 nanometer to 1000 nanometer, mean to say in colloidal range. Then what is the difference between associated colloid and multimolecular colloid? There is a lot of difference here. When you put you want to form, or you can say when you want to form associated colloid, a minimum concentration of dispersed phase is needed. First thing, okay, when you want to prepare a associated colloid, a minimum concentration is first thing of dispersed phase is needed. In case of multimolecular, no minimum concentration, because if we keep the concentration lower than the required, then there is no association taking place. But in case of multimolecular, association take place at any concentration, so they always form multimolecular. But in case of you want to prepare associated colloids, there is a certain range of concentration. Below that concentration, no aggregation take place. Okay, so that is a vast difference between these two. Okay, so when you want to prepare associated colloids, first thing you needed a minimum concentration of this phase particle is needed, and that minimum concentration is known as critical micelle concentration, CMC you can say, critical micelle concentration. One more thing is there, that a particular temperature is also needed. Particular temperature is also needed in this case. Okay, because if particle temperature is lower than the required, then still the aggregation or meeting of the colloid particle did not take place. So these are the two basic difference between associated colloid and multimolecular. Multimolecular colloids can form at any concentration and at any temperature, but associated colloids only form at a particular concentration and a particular temperature, and that particular temperature is termed as Kraft temperature. That particular temperature is Kraft temperature. Okay, so this is your associated colloids. For multimolecular, you have two examples, gold sol, sulfur particles. In case of macromolecule, already natural existing starch, protein which exist in case of the milk. Okay, so these are the natural colloids. Associated colloids, you know that a particular concentration and a particular temperature is needed to form this. Okay, for example, in case of associated colloids, what you are getting example like soaps and detergents. Soaps and detergents form associated colloids. Okay, these are the example for the associated colloids. We must have to explain also that how soaps and detergents form the colloids or associated colloids, you can say. For that, you have to learn about the nature of, you must know nature or structure of soap particle. Okay, now I am first defining you what is soap. So soaps are defined as sodium or potassium. You can take any one, sodium or potassium salt of long chain of fatty acids. For example, sodium stearate. Okay, the chemical formula with 6C17H35 COO-Na. This Na is sodium and this part is long fatty chain acids. Okay, now you must also understand how to represent these soap molecules. Okay, you know that in organic chemistry we have represented the hydrocarbon in this bond line formula. Okay, so this says 17, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, then it's come 17. Now this COO part I am drawing here, COO negative, sodium positive. Okay, now when you dissolve this in water, this sodium ions get dissolved and this ion will become separate. Okay, now this is the molecule particularly, the representation of sodium citrate molecule, but this is represented in the manner of this one. This is representing long chain of fatty acids and this particular size, this thing, positive and negative we are defining over here. This is known as polar end and this long chain is known as non-polar end. Okay, because in hydrocarbon part there is no polarity, but here carboxylic group is introduced, that's why polarity occur in this case. So in this molecule or ion of the soap, one part is polar end having and one part is non-polar end. Okay, now further, so this is the structure of the soap molecules. Now we will discuss how it is forming the colloids. Okay, or you can say associated colloids or mixture. So always a non-polar end will remain hydrophobic in nature. Hydrophobic means to say water repelling, hydrophobic nature. While this polar end remain as well always hydrophilic, water loving, hydrophilic. Okay, hydrophobic, water repelling, hydrophilic, water loving end, or water attracting, you can say. So now when you dissolve soaps in water, okay, over the clothes, so suppose this is a oil particle on the oil particle or dirt particle, you can say, which you want to remove. Okay, we are discussing side by side cleaning action of the soap. Side by side we will explain cleaning action of soap as well. Okay, this topic is also important because in your syllabus it is available in 2 chapters, like enzyme mechanism, that is key and log mechanism, available in 2 chapters. That's same how cleaning action of soap is also available, discussed in 2 chapters. So that's why this topic is quite important. Okay, so this topic you have already studied even the cleaning action of soap in 10th class. Now we are discussing it again. Side by side we are explaining the cleaning action and even explaining that how associated colloids are formed or mixed. So oil dirt, suppose this is the oil dirt particle. Now this is non-polar end, which is hydrophobic, and you can say dirt attracting. So this part you will say one molecule, hydrophobic end towards the dirt particle, and polar end is suspended in water because that is water end. So a large number of molecules of this soap gather around the dirt particle because non-polar end is attractive to dirt. Okay, they are attractive to dirt. So in this case A large number of molecules of soaps gather around the dirt particles and the whole system formed a associated colloid. Because their now size of the whole particles become in the colloidal layer. So that's why they are known as associated colloids, or you can say micelle. Okay, so this how we will explain the cleaning action. In explaining the cleaning action of soap, you must have to define the structure of the soap molecules. First thing, the definition you must know of the soap. Then you must know how to represent the structure of the soap and how to represent in the form of the hydrophobic and hydrophilic. Then you must show the diagram how they are forming the micelle around the dirt particle. So in this such form, they are forming micelle or associated colloids. You know that a particular temperature and pressure is always needed. Okay, in this case also, because below that it is not possible. You know that while you washing the clothes, first you put the soap and then you rinse the clothes. Why you are rinsing the clothes? Because the soap molecules easily get from the colloids, okay, or associated colloids around the dirt particle. Okay, now the next thing is about detergents. You studied that detergents are also forming the associated colloids. So detergents are not much difference between the soap. The same is procedure. Only difference is that detergents are defined as sodium or potassium salt. Sodium or potassium salts of long chain of sulfonyl fatty acids. Mean to say only this sulfonyl word is get introduced between the soap and detergents. We will also discuss why sulfonyl group. I am representing the formula like one is sodium, for example, sodium lauryl sulfate is your detergent particle. Okay. What is its formula? You will write down in this manner C11 first thing. Okay, or you can write down directly C12 H how much 25 COO. In between there comes sulfonyl. Okay, plus sodium. Sodium you can write down or potassium, any one of these. Okay, now this molecule will break from here, ionized, into sulfonyl group negative charge, sodium or potassium will get positive charge. So this also have the same long chain, okay, and or you can say hydrophobic end, and this is polar part, okay. Same is the way a detergent is forming the micelles as soap is forming. But what is the difference actually? Due to this sulfonyl group, a detergent can form micelle in hard water as well. But soaps are not working. Soaps are not working with the hard water. Detergents, due to presence of this sulfonyl group, can form micelle in hard water as well. In soft water as well, soft water and hard water, in both detergent are forming. But soap is forming in case of only soft water. Due to presence of this sulfonyl group, they are forming the micelle in hard water as well. Okay, so today we have studied your classifications of the colloids and how soaps is actually cleaning the clothes. Okay, so now your homework is read up to the topic we did, up to the topic. Second, sort out 10 cues and answer from in rough notebook. Okay, their question as well as answer. Thank you.